Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Steve Butala here for Land Academy. Welcome to our Cash Flow from Land show. In this episode, Jill and I talk about something I think and read and research about all the time. What makes a good podcast? Well, before we get the show started, I'd love to hear from you on this topic. Our number is 888-735-5045. Please leave a message. Our producers will get back with you and we'll put you on the show.
Cool.
Jill, it's really fun to talk to you about this topic. You know, I don't know. Is it real estate topics? Is it,
what makes a good podcast?
Yeah, what makes a good podcast?
Is it what we talk about or is it us?
I don't know.
Is it your producing skills?
Oh, it's not that. Hey, before that, let's take a question from a caller. What do you say?
Okay. I have one here. Jason from Boston called in and asked, who buys properties out in the middle of nowhere? Okay, I have to laugh at that.
This cracks me up.
I know.
No, it's, you know what?
We get that often.
I don't mean to shove it aside. It's a question we get all the time. It's one that I probably answered, I bet, maybe 300 or 400 times.
Uh-huh. It's so interesting.
I know you guys do over there too. Mm-hmm. What's your immediate, without thinking about an answer?
Here's what I'm going to say. My phone does not stop ringing from people who want to buy property out in the middle of nowhere, if you want to call it that. We joke about it, but
the answer is everybody. I mean, I know. There's just no issues with sales. It's so hard. You know who I get this question from the most? Seasoned real estate people.
Right. They don't get it.
For some reason, they've just been, I don't know where they get this idea that property is only valuable when it's like in an urban area,
right, or
when it's been improved somehow, like with improvements. So the concept of buying property that's unwanted in a rural area and then reselling it for more doesn't register with seasoned real estate people, mm-hmm. which I think is great. So for the rest of us, well, I guess we're seasoned now by default, but for a lot of Land Academy members,
we don't have any trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, we talk about this on I talk about a lot with new members and too. I stopped guessing. I stopped trying to figure it out. I've had such an there's people that are in cities, in downtown cities that are like, I'm done. I'm out. even if some of them are wanting to leave the cities permanently and some just want a cabin or just want a getaway area. Some people now are working remote. That's not crazy. So they can, have their ranch somewhere and, escape the rat race.
Hey, but don't believe us. Do these two things, and they have nothing to do with us. Go to landwatch.com and see how many properties are for sale there.
That's true.
That's a good sales venue for us and for our members. And then number 2, go to YouTube just for fun when you want to kill about a half hour and look up some phrases like this. Get away from it all, or 40 acres in Nevada, or
off the grid,
or
tiny houses.
Get rid of your monthly bills, tiny houses is a great one.
Right.
Get rid of your monthly. There's whole shows on there mm-hmm. with people that have just said, "I've had enough. I got a great job. I went and bought some property for cash. I paid $1,500 for this truck, and I'm living out here, and it's great."
I got to say something interesting too. I've noticed. Used to be you were cool if you had the townhouse downtown with the hot car and the whatever. It's getting a little more cool to be out somewhere. You're describing
yourself.
I am describing myself.
You have a townhouse and you're cool and you have a hot car.
I do. However, it doesn't mean that I'm cool.
I bet I'm not the only one who thinks that.
Thank you. Thanks for saying that. But now it's even cool, to be living out there, living someone off the land. If you have solar power and you get your
cool.
water delivered.
I can't get off this cool thing.
It is cool. Thank you
you're
very
cool.
Much. Thank you. I appreciate that. But
you have a big, huge
I mean?
diamond ring on your finger too.
What is this? Are you just trying to get me off topic and all confused?
You know what? I'm trying to make it a
good podcast
episode.
Let's see if I can distract Jill and just make it funny.
I think you're super pretty, Jill.
Thank you very much.
And I'm not the only one.
Thank you.
Some of the emails we get in here are crack up.
Thank you. But all right. So you're done with my
My
question.
favorite email I got about Jill is this.
Oh, no.
And it came recently. Steve, I hope you have a plan B.
That was when I was doing some acting stuff? Is that why? Or just in general?
I don't know what it was related to. Like, she's just not going to stick around for this very long.
Oh.
She's probably got better stuff to do.
Thank you.
It's a good thing the podcast is going well.
Thank
because it helps.
Well, hopefully we answered Jason's question,
All right,
which
so I
is there's a
interrupted you
variety
like 6
of reasons.
times. I'm sorry.
It's okay. There's a variety of reasons that people want to buy property, out rural property or just, not downtown. So, and test it, like Steven said.
Here's a takeaway from this question, and I'll read the question again. Who the heck buys property out in the middle of nowhere? The takeaway is there is no issues with sales in this product type. If you have issues with with sales in this product type, it's because you didn't buy it right and you didn't listen to us from start to finish about how to buy property super inexpensively.
Right.
All the property that's for sale in these venues, in my opinion, that's for sale for a long time. It's because there are
problems.
It was purchased for too much money.
Yeah, they overpaid or there's something that they missed.
Right.
You need to have the right attributes and other things that we talk about.
Really easy to follow a 3 or 4 step process that we have when buying this property to make sure that you never end up with property that's overpriced and so it's for sale forever. Mm-hmm. So when you price a property, a 40-acre property in, let's say, Arizona for sale for $8,000 or $9,000, how long do you think that we keep something like that right now? I got 3 properties coming in right now from escrow, and I chose this time, which is not really like us, but I chose to get title insurance and go through escrow for several reasons, and I bet those properties just sold 16 times if we want them to. Mm-hmm. And we haven't closed escrow yet. Oh,
dude, I just sold 5 acres in Latimer County. Our phones are still blowing up. Mm-hmm. The deed's not even done. I mean, it's been a flood of calls. I mean,
what'd you sell that for?
$4,000.
What'd you buy it for? How much?
$1,000.
So there.
Was it even $1,000? I think it was.
No, it wasn't. It was $800.
I think it was. Thank you. I think I budgeted $1,000 when I did it. So
you bought a piece of property and increased the price by 5 times. Mm-hmm. And you have multiple.
They're still blowing up our
buyers. So, what are we going to do? We're going to send another mailer out in that area. Mm-hmm. It's like taking money.
It's not.
I mean, we're providing a service.
No.
Let's call it that. You're right. I shouldn't say that.
No.
I just get real excited and happy about our business model. It's been going on.
It is good.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? And the bottom line is, we buy it right. We solve a problem. We buy it right, and the seller is winning too. They're so darn excited. So, and they went out and did their homework, by the way. This buyer that I have, they went out and looked at it, stood on it. It's really sweet.
Oh, they did? That's great.
They
I love when that happens. Did they take pictures?
I don't know.
We should give a discount if people go look at the property and take pictures of themselves and their family or whoever they're with. Wouldn't that be great to have a board like that? That's
a good idea. A follow-up thing. Show them using it and happy and enjoying it. So, yeah. Cool. All right,
maybe we're too positive on these topics. Is there something bad? We should talk about something that's slightly negative.
Why?
I don't know. It can't all be rosy, can it?
Oh, my gosh.
Can anything be all good?
I have a question for you. What makes a good podcast for you? Back to this. I don't know where you're going with this. Okay, you do this research. I am seriously curious. I'm tuned into this show. I'm being a new listener. And I found this show because I'm thinking about doing a podcast. Who knows? Or I'm just curious. What makes a good podcast episode? What in your research? Or what makes a good show?
Right. So here's what I found in my research. And I don't necessarily agree with this, but this is what my research has said. And I've done tons and tons of hours. This is show number 74. And Jill and I had kind of a trial show before that. I think there were 10 or 15 episodes that were a lot longer than this. And it was, they're less structured and a lot longer. But the research that I found is this: be entertaining, but don't be silly. Have good language, but not completely rated G. And I can go on and on and on. So they don't ever tell you what to do, which is really, really is, I think, silly. Unlike what we teach, where we just say, if you go do this or some version of this, it's
like a roadmap.
Yeah, a roadmap or a toolbox or something. I don't know. So there's a lot of nebulous concepts out there about a podcast, but I do believe this: it has to be entertaining, or no one's going to listen to it. I think you and I have two types of listeners, ones that are really interested in the land piece.
Some that are interested in you and some that are interested in me.
Yeah.
Those are our two types of listeners.
98% are interested in you, and two sad people are interested in me. No, we have two types of listeners. People who think we're actually entertaining, and then I think
people who think that we're ding-dongs.
And people who feel sorry for us. And people who want to learn about this land business, you know. And I'm sure that I got a comment recently. Maybe I heard it from you. I probably did, where somebody said, "Look, can you cut out all the silliness?
They did.
Just read it like it's an encyclopedia."
Do you know what my comment was? Go back and rewatch the program if you really want. And we put a few fun things in the program, but the program is really more, business related. It really is business. It's all business with a smile.
So, I don't know. I've listened to a lot of podcasts long before we ever started this. Some of them are just, somebody reads out of a textbook about some kind of history. The most popular podcasts or radio shows that, all the research that I did, are very politically oriented and specifically very right-wing politics.
Seriously.
And I don't want any part of that. I don't want to sit on. Who listens to that? I don't know.
Let's
I shouldn't
all talk
criticize it
today
because a ton
about
of people listen to it.
who we're going to vote for. And let's talk about,
all the stuff that our president did wrong and all that. Yesterday.
You know what?
That's not what I want.
Well, you and I do the same thing. When you and I are out and if our friends go off on a tangent like this, you and I are gone. Or people that we meet, we're and they start talking about that. We're okay, we don't really want to hang out with them. I go out, you know what I think about a good podcast episode? I want to, I'm going out for a beer after work. I want to take my mind off work. I don't want to think about work.
Yeah, we've never talked about that, Jill, but that's exactly what I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm driving. I hope that whoever's listening is driving home right now or on the train home right now, wherever you are, making dinner, and you're going to get some good information out of this, but you also just want to get away from it all and just have a laugh for a few minutes, because I laugh at us.
If you agree with this
silly.
Or disagree with us, call 888-735. I'm not joking. 888-735. We just got this number. 888-735-5045. No one's going to sell you anything. It's not a sales line. It's only for the podcast.
Yeah, we just want questions. We want to know your feedback.
Ask us some questions.
Questions.
Tell us you think we're ding-dongs, whatever. If you just want to be on the show and have a ton of people listen to your voice, call that number and leave a silly message.
Yeah.
We'll try to get it on.
Yeah. Thank you.
So back to the point. I've done a ton of research, and the podcast is, it has to be, you said it perfectly in one word recently, or not so recently, but it has to be infotainment. That's the market that I'm interested in capturing.
I like that. I came up with infotainment, and you came up with business fantasy.
Say fantasy again, Joe.
I have a cold right now, so I'm a little plugged up. So I'm not thinking it sounds that good. But
it
if
sounds
we give
good,
it,
trust me.
Well, if we give it a couple days, I'll get that raspy Demi Moore voice going here. So we'll see.
One of our members of Land Academy emailed me yesterday, and I sent it to Jill because we were both, it's not often that they make us laugh. It's usually the other way around. But this guy said, because we had a podcast 2 weeks ago that got posted, and he said, I'm sitting here cooking dinner and listening to you guys talk about the definition of a first kiss.
Oh, yes.
So I think, now when I get feedback, this is topical. It's not just silly. When I get feedback, when it gets back to me, all the way back to me.
That was awesome.
About something we talked about on a podcast from more than one person, because he's not the only person that said that. I think that makes a good podcast, whether it's business related or funny.
That was good.
Jill and I have a different, in case you didn't hear it, Jill and I have a different definition of first kiss.
Oh, gosh.
And we'll be brief about it. Jill thinks it's the first time she kissed somebody, and I think it's the first time you kiss somebody.
Read between the lines.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Oh, my goodness. You know what I have to say about that? Fantasy.
No, business fantasy is this genre. I don't even know if it exists, but I think I've written a couple of drafts of stories about people, if you sit around and daydream a little bit about being incredibly successful and working through the steps of, I don't know, launching an app or launching a real estate company or launching whatever and having it go through the roof, make a ton of money.
Stephen, our story could be kind of business fantasy.
It is. It is. That's one of the drafts I have of buying, started with a very small amount of money and really ended up doing extremely well. We continue to do well. And now we're doing incredibly well with Land Academy, which I never thought. Mm-hmm. Land Academy was completely started long ago, never in this form, never with a .com, just to help people learn how to buy property and actually to buy more property from us, not only from us, but to get them in the business so that they understood the product.
And we could do deals together. That was our other thought. We'd all benefit because they would find deals that they could not close or maybe didn't have the funding for. So we would do deals together. Who knew it would morph into this huge thing that
exactly.
I can't keep inventory in? It's hilarious.
What are we going to do about that? All kidding aside, we have like a year ago, we had, 1,200 properties in inventory. We have like 40.
It's under 100, that's for sure.
And everything we sell gets sold before we actually, and not intentionally, we just we post it. So
now it's like,
you look upset about this.
No, well. Do
people call you disappointed? Like, where the heck's all the property?
That's why they really. I was like, people call me up and I have to say, sorry, it's gone. Sorry, it's gone. That happens all the time, all day long. Multiple calls a day for properties that they just went. And so now it's kind of funny when I do like a hump day special or something. It's like it's like the callers are standing by waiting for me to announce, okay, the first caller gets da-da-da, like a radio station. You win the tickets. It's kind of like that now. When I hit the button for my hump day special, it's like, boom. And I haven't had it for a couple weeks. I'm like, all right, I gotta regroup here and get some good stuff in and get going again. So it's, hey, you know what? It's a good problem to have. I am selling inventory before the deed is recorded in my name. It's on the way to the recorder and it's already being sold. It's fantastic.
It's amazing.
So
actually it's not. It's just now that's just more efficient.
It's true. But
so a good podcast, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff being said about capturing people's attention in the first, I hear 2 seconds, I hear 20 seconds. And there's a lot of different ways that people who have relatively popular podcasts do that. My least favorite way is to put a highlight in a show of some quote or something like that as the first thing that you hear.
Oh, and that's a common thing. I hear people doing that all the time.
Yeah.
They take a clip from the show and they put it at the beginning. So that's going to hopefully grab your attention.
Right. So
does that work?
I don't know. I mean, people do it.
Well, we don't do it.
We don't. We don't do it. And we don't do it and we won't do it.
Got it.
I think that it's more important, and if you look back at really popular television shows and radio shows, not so much really recently, but that first note of music, you need to immediately identify what it is. And then you're going to do one of two things, say, oh, I love this show, let's listen to it, or I can't stand this show, it sucks, and turn it off. And either one of those things are actually fine with me.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's a funny topic. Think of the TV shows. This would be a fun game to play. Oh, I wish I had something I could do this with right now. It would be a fun game for you and I to play, where you start off like, dun 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 dun, like the show from like Dallas, or think of shows like when you were a kid. You can think of multiple shows off the top of your head. I can just name a show.
That first note.
The Brady Bunch. Do you know what that song is?
No, I don't.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Oh, goodness.
Do you?
The Simpsons.
Yeah, I know The Simpsons really well.
Jeez. Family Guy. I got to think
I got
to get to Steven's level here. I'm sorry.
Because the Brady Bunch is really intellectual.
Pretty much. Compared to Family Guy and The Simpsons.
I have to completely differ with that. Specifically with the Family Guy, I think that show is incredibly brilliant.
I know.
I think the Brady Bunch, I'm not going to say what I think.
I was just trying to prove a point about, trying to piggyback on what you said about tunes and how it captures us. And you think with the, well, shucks, that means we can never change our podcast song. Can we?
I bought that song.
Then I guess we're not going to change that.
I can change it all we want. We can change anything. There's a website called Audio Jungle.
I remember doing that.
And these incredibly talented artists, I mean, a lot of them, man, like thousands of them, put this stuff up there, and you can just buy the whole song for like $300. You own the rights to it, and it's over. Man, that is, for somebody like us, that's a really good opportunity, because you can get a lot of trouble using music that without permission.
You think?
Or you have to pay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Napster.com.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you think? I mean, do you listen to a radio show or podcast or anything like that? Or what do you think? What would you listen to?
I will tell you, you know what, one of the ones that I like, I just started listening to is Alec Baldwin's, because I like him. Mm-hmm. And I like his personality. I like the way he talks. I like his demeanor. I like his canter, the way, and one of my favorite, the first one I listened to was him interviewing Sarah Jessica Parker. And they were just having a fun little conversation. So it was not so much about her and her movies, but a little bit about that. It was more about her life and getting going, and I really liked that.
That's great.
It was cool. She comes from a big family, and she has a sibling that was in acting that got her into acting. Oh. And she loved it because it was a way to get her own pocket money, because she came from a big family, gets her own money to afford to do things and to get her outside the house, because there were like 8 kids or something. Seriously. So it's a really good story. So
is he a good host?
He's a great host.
We're promoting his show right now.
I guess we are. Maybe Alec will call us. Alec, call this number, 888-735-5045. Read us a question and we'll answer it on the air.
Or if you're not Alec Baldwin, but you sound like him, do it anyway. And
that's it. We'll pretend you are.
Yeah, and then we can say, I don't know. Somebody called and said he was Alec Baldwin.
There we go. I love it.
See, I think that's kind of funny, that kind of stuff.
That's good. Okay. I think this was very informative to me, and I got to hear what you think is a good podcast.
Join us in another episode where Jill and I discuss your all-important success in land investment and in life. That was one of those episodes I had to get it off the list.
Why?
Because I just needed to talk about it. Do you have stuff like that? Like
no.
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 You don't have anything in your life like that? Like, I got to check this off the list and that's it?
I have lots of things like that, but not that are podcast related.
Like what? Give us one.
I need to find a social media expert.
I know. Yeah.
That's driving me batty. How's that?
Yeah, we do.
I'm going to become my own social media expert. I didn't think I was going to have to do. When we started this whole business and everything we're doing, I knew we already wore many hats and we already had to learn so much as entrepreneurs, but as promoting your business and everything too. Oh my goodness.
I don't know why we're doing it. I mean, I do know why we're doing this, but I love doing it, actually.
I do too.
I love it. But we do not need to do this Land Academy thing at all.
Well,
that's another question we get all the time. Why are you guys doing this? I
know. I did not. It is fun. I didn't know I was going to have a doctorate in this and a doctorate in that. And, the equivalent of, does that make sense?
Yeah, there's 2 things that we didn't even talk about this. There's 2 things that you can do to promote a podcast that are very effective. One is have people on your show, other people on your show who have podcasts, like, not Alec Baldwin, but like, real estate. There's a lot of real estate people that have podcasts, and then they promote it on their show. The second is social media, which we have not done. I think we've sent 2 tweets out. So I know we're going to change that.
We're going to go crazy here pretty soon.
Don't
not go crazy, but we're going to reach the right people.
Don't beat yourself up about it, Jill. It'll happen in time, and I mean that. It'll happen in time, and I know you. By the time it's done, it'll be organized, and it'll get done the right way.
Well, in the meantime, my people standing on the corners with signs in their hands, spinning them. That's doing pretty well. I think we got 12 listeners now. And then I drive around with that flyer on that thing on the back of my car. Mm-hmm. That helps.
That screen in the back of the window. Yeah. It says Land Academy.
Exactly.
I was going to ask you about that.
Exactly. And then I have cups that I had made
for the 12 people in the office.
That's right, exactly. And I hope that they carry them around at the car wash and things, so they'll see it.
Like it's 1971.
Exactly.
Maybe we should get some, buy some media time on Antenna TV too.
And don't forget the hat that I have.
Now's the time to go buy some property.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.